Have you ever wondered how a 100-year-old French map and an ancient temple could spark modern-day artillery fire? Do you know two neighbours nearly went to war over a hillside nobody really wanted, except for a very old pile of stones on top? What happens when colonial paperwork, forgotten in a drawer, collides with 21st century nationalism? If you fancy watching two governments get into a shouting strop over which way a river runs, strap in. Stay watching. This is a saga of pride, history, and never-ending game of "that's mine." As if that was not enough, it is one with as many twists as a bowl of noodles. Therefore, let me tell you the story. Get yourselves comfortable, sit yourselves down and mind your tea, because what a tale I have for you. If you thought neighbourly disputes were just about noisy chickens or who snuck what into whose garden, wait until you hear about Thailand and Cambodia. This is not just any border dispute. No, this one has got French colonial blunders, national pride, temples perched on cliffs, and the kind of paperwork that makes you want to bang your head on the map. Moreover, as your somewhat grumpy but endlessly curious English narrator, I would take you through it all with a few raised eyebrows, thank you very much. It all started with a map. Picture this. It is early 20th century, the air thick with the scent of imperial ambitions and a distinct lack of GPS. France is strutting about, holding sway over Cambodia, while Siam, that is Thailand to you young ones, is trying to keep its bits safe. 1904 and 1907, they all sat at a table, stiff collars and all, and hammered out the Franco-Siamese treaties. The border, declares some clever Frenchman. We will follow the natural watershed of the Daftness Mountains. Wonderful. Sensible. Except not all the maps agreed. The natural watershed of the Daftness Mountains was supposed to define the boundary. Simple enough in theory. However, the map makers, perhaps distracted by wine and baguettes, did not quite stick to that rule, leading to one of the longest running cartographic headaches in the region. The French, ever inventive, draft a map in 1907 that plops the Phra Vihear temple, an ancient Khmer gem, just a nose hair over the line, but firmly onto the Cambodian side, even though the mountains suggest otherwise. File under "this will end badly." Temple tantrums, the battle for Phra Vihear. Fast forward a bit, and the French twaddle off in 1954, leaving Cambodia to march up the mountain, and Thailand, never one to let things lie, quickly sends in the troops. The Phra Vihear temple, gorgeous and ancient, is suddenly the most valuable pile of rocks in Southeast Asia. After a few crosswords and likely some colourful language, Cambodia drags Thailand to the International Court of Justice, the ICJ. Then, in 1962, the court, after much squinting at old maps, hands the temple to Cambodia. Thailand grumbles, waves a patriotic flag or two, and withdraws, sort of. Nevertheless, here is a rub. The court only rules on the temple itself, not the land around it. So there you have it. An award-winning fudge, if you ask me. It was bound to cause a few headaches later. Spoiler, it does. Maps or mayhem, the colonial legacy lives on. Decades pass. Borders are still fuzzy, maps gather dust, and politicians on both sides discover that nothing fires up a crowd quite like a good old-fashioned border squabble. Suddenly the area around Preah Vihear is less about history but more about votes and headlines. In 2008, Cambodia seizes the UNESCO World Heritage listing for the temple. Thailand, feeling left out, gets its knickers in a twist. Troops sent in, guns waved about, and somebody probably forgot to bring the biscuits. What follows is a series of skirmishes from 2008 to 2011. Artillery exchanged, houses flattened, thousands of villagers hoofing it to safety. The famous 4.6 square kilometres surrounding the temple turns into that awkward bit of garden nobody mows because no one is sure whose it is. Modern punch-ups, social media and shells. Do you think modern technology makes things easier? Social media just adds fuel to the fire. In 2011, a spike in keyboard nationalism sees tempers flare both online and on the ground. When bullets stop flying, hashtags start trending. Now, we are in 2025, and if you blinked you missed it, because that is when things really went off the rails. A misunderstanding in the so-called Emerald Triangle ends with a Cambodian soldier dead. Thailand and Cambodia do what neighbours do best: ban each other's imports, toss accusations, and threaten to pull the plug on electricity and the internet. Nothing says serious like threatening someone's Wi-Fi. However, by July, which is now, and at this moment in time, it is more than angry words. Artillery, rockets, even airstrikes fly. Diplomatic ties down the drain. Borders locked tighter than Grandma's biscuit tin. And the ICJ called in again, although from the look of things, everyone is wishing they would just play rock, paper, scissors instead. Why does it matter? Nationalism, nostalgia, and the nuisance of old maps. So why does this drag on? Well, let us recap. Each side has a fistful of different colonial maps. French, Siamese, pick your poison. Both governments know flag waving makes them popular. Ancient temples like Preah Vihear are not just old stones, they are loaded with national pride. In addition, the border stretching over 800 kilometres. On top of that, it is still only partially sorted out. The Joint Boundary Commission keeps trying, with about as much luck as me fixing a leaky tap with duct tape. Let me list the major flashpoints so you do not get lost. 1904 to 1907, the Franco-Siamese treaties and fuzzy maps. 1954 to 1962, the Preah Vihear temple site goes to the ICJ. 2008, UNESCO listing, tempers flare. 2011, shooting, shelling over the border. 2013, ICJ affirms Cambodia's temple rights. 2025, full-blown fighting, borders clamped shut. Now, if you have made it this far, first of all, congratulations, because frankly, it is a maze. Now, let us put ourselves there. Imagine you live in a border village. One minute you're frying rice and watching telly, next minute artillery shells whiz over the fence and you find yourself debating international law with your chickens. Not quite what you plan for a Thursday. Picture being a kid, walking to school, passing armed guards from two countries, both convinced they are on the right bit of dirt. No wonder everyone is a bit twitchy. What now? The big reward, or is it? Whatever. Here is another kicker, and let us not sugarcoat it. The solution is not plonking another red line on the map. It takes historical honesty, a dollop of humility, and neighbours willing to share a cup of tea, or failing that, a stern handshake. Sure, there is hope of proper border demarcation, but better dialogue, and maybe next time a map that actually matches the ground. However, if history is anything to go by, we might see a few more scuffles, a parade of diplomats, and plenty of armchair experts weighing in. If only disputes could be settled by who can build the best temple or make the best noodles. That, at least, I would happily judge. So the next time you're grumbling about the neighbour's cat digging up your petunias, spare a thought for Thailand and Cambodia. At least, your arguments will not be settled on the steps of the International Court of Justice, or so I hope. Now, if someone could just teach everyone to read a compass, or maybe just get a proper sat-nav, I would raise a mug to that. If this tower of maps, temples and time-honoured tiffs entertained you, do not just stop here. Like, comment and subscribe for more histories or these sagas, told just like the way your favourite grouchy uncle might, except maybe with better tea. Do you have your own epic neighbourly dust-up story? Pop it in the comments below. Until then, please take care. Bye bye.